Hi guys, this is IGCSE O-Level Chemistry, paper 22, November 2020, question 21. The equation shows a reaction between aqueous hydrogen bromide and aqueous ammonia. Okay. Which statement describes the role of aqueous hydrogen bromide? So HBr is converting into Br negative. That means it is giving its H positive ion to ammonia. So it is acting as a proton donor. So it is a catalyst? No. It is a reducing agent. Br negative in HBr and Br negative on the product side. So it is not undergoing a redox reaction at all. So not a reducing agent. It is a proton acceptor? No. On the reactant side, it is HBr, and on the product side, it is Br negative. It has lost its H positive ion. That means it is not a proton acceptor. In fact, it is a proton donor. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option D. Question 22. The equations for three reactions are shown. And the question is, which reactions are suitable for making a salt by precipitation? So, in order to form a salt by precipitation, the reactants must be soluble and the salt produced must be insoluble. So, in reaction 1, we've got lead nitrate and potassium iodide, both of which are soluble. This produces potassium nitrate and lead iodide. Lead iodide is insoluble, so it will form by precipitation. Next, we have silver nitrate and copper iodide, both of which are aqueous, and this produces copper nitrate, which is aqueous, but silver iodide is also formed, which is insoluble. Therefore, silver iodide will be formed by precipitation. So this is correct as well. Next, we have copper oxide, which is insoluble, reacting with sulfuric acid. This produces copper sulfate, which is a soluble salt, and water. So a soluble salt can be produced by this reaction, but this can be extracted by crystallization. So this is not a salt that is produced by precipitation. So this becomes incorrect. Since reactions 1 and 2 are correct, option A is the correct option for this question. Question 23. Zinc oxide is an amphoteric oxide. Which row describes the reactions of zinc oxide? Reaction with alkali? Yes, it will react. So this eliminates options C and D. And reaction with acid? It will react, eliminating option B and making option A the correct option for this question. Amphoteric oxides are oxides that would react with both acids and bases. So option A has both zinc oxide reacting with both alkali as well as acid. So option A is correct. Question 24. A student carries out an experiment to prepare pure magnesium sulfate crystals. The diagram shows the first stage of the preparation. So magnesium carbonate is added to dilute sulfuric acid. He adds magnesium carbonate until no more reacts. So magnesium carbonate is added in excess. So this would produce magnesium sulfate, which is a soluble salt, and it would liberate carbon dioxide gas and water will be produced. So which process should he use for the next stage? So now since magnesium carbonate is in excess, the magnesium sulfate produced would be soluble, so it would be dissolved, but the solid particle in the beaker would be magnesium carbonate, which needs to be filtered out before magnesium sulfate is crystallized. So which process should you use next? Crystallization? No, that will be after filtration. So this is not it. Crystallization is the process that requires evaporation taking place. So that's not it. Filtration will separate the excess of magnesium carbonate from magnesium sulfate solution. That is correct. And neutralization is not required in the next stage. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 25. Which row about elements in the periodic table is correct? Two elements in the same group have similar chemical properties? Yes. Elements in the same group have similar chemical properties. So, and statement 2, metals are on the left of the table. Yes, metallic character, it decreases as we move from left to right of the periodic table. So this is correct. Next, two elements in the same group have similar chemical properties. Correct. Metals are on the right of the table. No, they are on the left. Next, two elements in the same period have similar chemical properties. No, because they are in different groups, they will have different chemical properties. Metals are on the left of the table. Yes. Two elements in the same period have similar chemical properties. No, they have different chemical properties. And metals are on the right of the table. No, metals are found on the left side of the periodic table. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option A. Question 26. A new element, Oxfordium OX, was discovered with the following properties. It is insoluble in water. It doesn't conduct electricity. Formula of the element is OX2, so it is diatomic, and bonding in the molecule of OX2 is a triple bond between two Oxfordium atoms. Okay, in which group of the periodic table should the new element be placed? So if its formula is OX2 and it forms a triple bond, so a triple bond is formed by two nitrogen atoms. So OX and OX has a similar bonding. Nitrogen is N2, OX is OX2. Nitrogen doesn't conduct electricity, OX2 doesn't conduct electricity. Nitrogen is insoluble in water, OX2 is insoluble in water. So if it has same properties as nitrogen, so it should belong to the same group as nitrogen, which is group 5. So group 3, no. Group 5, yes. Group 7, no. Group 8, no. So option B is the correct option for this question. Question 27. A flammable gas needs to be removed from a tank at an industrial plant. For safety reasons, an inert gas is used. Which gas is suitable? Argon is a noble gas, so it is inert. Hydrogen is a flammable gas, not inert. Methane is flammable, not inert. Oxygen is not flammable, but it is required for combustion. So the flammable gas that is there can burn in the presence of oxygen. So oxygen cannot be used. Therefore, A is the correct option for this question. Question 28. Transition elements can have variable oxidation states. Which pair of compounds show a transition element in two different oxidation states? So in Cr2O3, we have a 2 negative charge on oxide, so a total of 6 negative. So 6 negative charge on two chromium atoms would form a charge of +3. And in Cr2SO4 thrice, it is the same situation. Sulfate has a 2 negative charge, so total charge of -6. And to balance that, Cr will have a charge of +3. So chromium has the same oxidation state in both the compounds. Next, in Cu2O, oxygen has a charge of -2. So in order to balance that, copper would have a charge of +2 on two atoms. So +2 divided by 2 is +1. And in CuCO3, carbonate has a charge of -2. To balance that, copper would have a charge of +2. So copper with a charge of +1 and copper with a charge of +2 is represented by these two salts. Next, ZnS. Sulfide has a charge of -2, so zinc would have a charge of +2. And sulfate has a charge of -2, so zinc would have a charge of +2. No change in oxidation state in the two compounds for zinc. And last, NiO, oxide ion has a charge of -2, so nickel will have a charge of +2. And NiNO3 twice, nitrate has a charge of -1, and there are two nitrate ions who have a total charge of -2. In order to balance that, nickel would have a charge of +2. So both compounds of nickel has the same oxidation state. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B. Question 29. Which diagram best represents the structure of a substance that is a good conductor of electricity at 25 degrees Celsius. So A represents a macromolecule with the same atom present. So this is diamond. This is the structure of diamond. Next, we have a covalent molecule with two different atoms. There are three atoms attached to a single atom. So this is a molecule similar to NH3. The next we have got negative and positive charges aligned next to each other. So this is an ionic compound. And the next would be a metal with two different atoms in it, because there is a gray molecule and a white molecule, and there are very few gray molecules compared to white molecules. This is what happens in alloys. So since it should conduct electricity at room temperature, diamond and ammonia will not conduct electricity. Ionic compound will conduct electricity, but in the molten state, which means they would not be at room temperature. And alloys are metals, so they would conduct electricity at room temperature, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 30. Why is aluminum metal unreactive with air? It is covered with a layer of oxide. Yes, aluminum reacts with oxygen to form a superficial layer of Al2O3, which does not allow the rest of the aluminum that is protected by this layer to react with oxygen. It is low in the reactivity series. No, it is higher in the reactivity series. It is produced by electrolysis of its oxide. That is correct, but that is not why it is unreactive with air. It melts at a higher temperature. Yes, that is true as well, but not the reason why it is unreactive with air. Therefore, option A is the correct option for this question.